Hello, fellow followers. Welcome back to FanZcene. Greg here, and today I have for you, physical media collecting is the nerd culture I've been missing. What do I mean by that? Well, I've been thinking about this, right? Because I did do a video a while back, about how nerd culture never should have gone mainstream, right? Nerd culture never should have gone mainstream. We see it today. A lot of us that grew up in the nerd culture in the 80s and the 90s and stuff have seen how corporate it's become. It's basically corporate slop, and it's just like here's the next new thing. Here's the new Marvel. Here's the new Star Wars. Here's the new Star Trek. It consume, consume, consume. It's not like it once was. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't have the same balance, and it just feels like the people that are the fans of it now are not. They're just like get excited about this new thing and then consume, be happy, and move on. Don't say any bad words. It just doesn't. It's not the same as it was when we were growing up and what we were into. And as a huge physical media collector, because I've been doing it since I was a kid. It feels like physical media collecting is the last vestige of nerd culture that I'm still hanging on to, and that is still very much feels like nerd culture. Yes, it's no longer mainstream, and I've been thinking about that. It's no longer mainstream, and I think that's a good thing. Personally, I think physical media collecting and all that is no longer mainstream is a good thing because, like I said, once things go mainstream, it becomes corporate slop. And don't get me wrong, I'm not naive. I know people putting out the Blu-rays and the 4Ks are corporate, and we see that still like with Disney, with their still books exclusives and 4Ks like $60 for this one movie. I get that. That is still like that's a part of the physical media collecting. That's still a bit mainstream, especially with corporations like Disney and stuff like that. But there are a lot of boutique Blu-ray labels out there independently that are putting together these incredible movies, and even in some cases taking them from these corporations because they don't care about their old classic movies anymore. All they care about is the streaming and the what's new, what's hip for them, and how they can get out there and get those minutes watched and spend it your way. So like these independent boutique labels are getting these movies that we loved growing up as a kid, and that still are very much in the vein of nerd culture that we can still enjoy. I can still enjoy like the original Star Wars and the original Star Trek and the Next Generation and stuff like that. I know some people will say that it ruined it for them, and I get that too. If it ruined it for you, I completely get that. But with like physical media and stuff, I can relive these things. I can relive Basket Case, right? From Arrow. I can relive Basket Case, something that is not very mainstream that a lot of people don't know about. I can relive that and I enjoy it and I have fun with it. It reminds me of nerd culture. I can relive Strange Invaders, right? Stuff like these don't sell very well to the mainstream because they're not mainstream. And it's the fact that and they make them and stuff, and there's some problems which I'll get into here in a minute, but I can still enjoy Strange Invaders. I can still enjoy these late night cult classics, Virgin High, Assault of the Party Nerds 1 and 2, and Hot Under the Collar, right? Late night classic. I never thought I'd see these on Blu-ray, ever. Ever. These are like staples from like growing up USA all night and everything. Rapid Fire with Brandon Lee, classic 90s martial arts and stuff, still readily available. It reminds me, like Fletch with Chevy Chase, right? I love Fletch, it's a great movie. Night of the Living Dead. I can enjoy Night of the Living Dead still to this day. I can enjoy Star Trek, the original series. Like I said, I have the complete first series, 1, 2, and 3, right? And really awesome stuff. And, I know that may be a little more corporate, but like to me, like with collecting these physical medias and finding out what's coming out from these boutique labels and everything really fulfills that nerd culture urge and want and need that I had growing up and that I'm missing. Right? What I'm saying is that it's missing, and it's not just like Blu-rays and DVDs and stuff. Like I've talked about physical media so much more. Like I have CDs like this. I have Crazy Looks, which I did do a video on this CD. This isn't this music I really love. Why? Because I'm a huge fan of like the 80s and 90s and stuff. And this music is clearly 80s and 90s rock and roll inspired by the Lost Boys. If you've not seen my video I did on this, see my video on this. It's still CD. That's like fulfilling growing up because I don't feel like I have that music anymore, but I do have that music still because this band Crazy Looks is still putting out music like that. Is it mainstream? No, it's not mainstream. So it feels like it's something special, something to me. That's why I like it, because these feel like something special, something to me, something I love, something I enjoy, something that takes that is a little nostalgic, but also something new in some cases, like with Crazy Legs, and something where I can take a step back in time and then can enjoy the nerd culture, or like a book. Like I just got this, The Confessions of a Puppet Master, Charles Band. I'm a huge Full Moon fan, right? I can read about Charles Band and his empire, from the Empire Pictures to Puppet Master and Full Moon and stuff. That's something that this isn't going to go to a lot of people. This isn't going to be mainstream, but to me, this is awesome. This is like something I get a little more excited about this than watching a 5 hour live stream of names on the back of a chair for the new Marvel Avengers movie, right? Because I don't, that's just so dumb to me. But this excites me more than that, right? So this excites me more. Now, is like I said, is there things that some people will harp on and stuff, about things about physical media not being mainstream, and some of them I do agree with. Like I really do wish, and that's something I like to do on my channel here, is I really do wish we had more physical media in the stores again. I do wish that was back in the stores. I do wish we had video stores again. I know that would be a very niche market as well, but I think that could play well for some rural areas, and have like a little thing. Scarecrow Video and other video stores are still open out there, still going strong. So they have a value for certain people. Do I wish the prices of physical media, especially like with the new 4Ks and Blu-rays, would come down? Yeah, I do, because they can be expensive. But to me, I'm kind of glad we don't have all these people like that are, all over the place, like with the Marvel and the DC and the Disney fandom and all that, like the new ones where they're like, yes, you must like this. Why would you even criticize something? They're giving you what you always want. No, they're not, right? But with these boutique labels and stuff, and with physical media in general of all kinds, I'm getting that nerd fix I used to have as a kid. I'm getting that nerd fix to this day. And then in some cases, I will find new stuff that I really love, specifically within the independent genre, which is where it's at, because it's not mainstream, right? It's not mainstream. And so that's what I'm saying. Like physical media is that nerd culture I've been collecting, is that nerd culture I've been missing, because, and technically I haven't been missing. I've been doing it for years, right? So I'm just now realizing, with all the stuff that I've lost through the nerd culture through the years, that I feel like I've lost, I'm refinding in physical media, right? And once again, I know there's caveats, right? That yes, it's still corporate owned. I'm not stupid. I say Disney, specifically like Disney and stuff like that, and even like I would have one point in time have touted Scream and Shout Factory, but their prices are becoming ridiculous with theirs, and they're starting to get a little more corporate movies now than they used to. But like, there's still so many out there that are selling so many great movies that I never thought would imagine. Sometimes the limited runs can suck, especially with scalpers. That's what I'm saying. In anything you are into, from Dungeons and Dragons to Star Wars to Star Trek to any type of nerdy thing you're into, there's always caveats. There's always something that they're like, well, I wish they would do this instead of this. I wish I had this or what it is. But if you're still enjoying it, to me, I'm still enjoying physical media. I'm still buying it. I'm still having fun with it. I'm still loving it. And if I ever lose that love, if I ever feel like it's getting too much for me, if I ever feel like it's over, then I will feel like it's dead or dying. So to me, it does not feel like it's dead or dying. Is there caveats? I don't want to really say problems. Is there caveats? Yeah, sometimes the price is a little high. There's nothing in the stores. Sometimes the stupid ass Disney and Warner Brothers and stuff don't know what they got, and their exorbitant prices and stuff like that, and they're trying to make it very corporate and feed you stuff that you don't want. Yeah, but within every niche, non-mainstream nerd hobby type thing, there's always caveats. But as long as you can still love it and enjoy it, and it's not mainstream, and you don't have tourists telling you, that you're wrong, that they're the true fans because they've only been fans for like what, 2 years, and you've been fans for like 20 years, and they know better than you. As long as you don't have those tourists and people aggravating you and pecking at you and telling you what the way you love things and the way you like things is wrong, then I'm happy for that, because I don't feel that within the physical media collecting that I do. Yes, there's communities aren't always the best, right? Because the communities can't expand to mainstream like that. But I'm kind of glad at this moment in time that physical media is not mainstream. Do I wish it was still more abundant, more people? Because I really do. My channel is not just about talking to physical media collectors. I also want to talk to people out there who want physical media, who are confused, like I did the video on what can a Blu-ray player do to you, because some people really don't know that a Blu-ray player can play CDs, can play DVDs, can play Blu-rays. They don't know that. That's why I did that. And then there's some people that do want to buy their favorites on physical media. I don't want to be able to help them gear them in the right way so they can buy their favorites on a DVD or Blu-ray or VHS or whatever. So, that's what my channel is here for. But also at the same time, I'm kind of glad this physical media is no longer mainstream and that I don't have tourists aggravating me, and I don't feel like my nerdiness is being corrupted or being looked down upon by other people. That's why, to me, physical media will always be the superior format, and physical media collecting is that nerd culture I've been missing. Let me know what you guys think about all this and with your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. And if you liked what you saw here, maybe consider hitting that like button or subscribing, hitting that bell for notifications. That'd be awesome if you earn you guys' subscriptions. Possibly share the video out for everybody to see, or join and become a channel member, because that would help out my channel immensely. Thank you, and shout out to all my channel members. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you guys for being channel members here and for all of your support. To everybody watching, whether you liked me, hated me, or liked this video, or hated this video, I thank you for sticking this long. Wherever you all are, please have a great, safe, happy, healthy day, morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Always support physical media, because it really truly is the superior format now more than ever. Godspeed.